Hello, welcome back. This is part 6 of my Cyberjam coding video. Since the last video I made a small change which is that the blocks you have to land on to show the U1 page, I just put a sort of down arrow on them. I tried a few different ways to do that, but I just wanted it to look different from the starting blocks which have no arrows on them, okay? So that I can tell what they are in the sprite editor, and also it gives player an instruction, so land on them. Hopefully that looks like a down arrow. Okay, and then it says you won. So that works. Let's just look at the to-do list. Whoops. Create an exit that wins the game with yeah, I've done that. Create more rooms, yeah, or game over screen. I could do that seeing as I'm in a sort of screen mode. I think I will. So currently when you die, it does what? It just calls this command which resets the game. But I'm going to put in there screen equals 2 instead. Back to the main code. I'm going to copy this whole batch of code for when you win the game, but put that in. I'll use the same animation. I'll reset the game when you press fire. It's kind of almost exactly the same state, to be honest. Right, so now I change the text. Good old copy paste. Let's change the color. I want red, so actually that's a bit red, that color. Maybe this one color. What color is that? Color 2. Color 2, game over. I think I've pressed shift on G again. Game over, exclamation mark. We don't want to shove it in their face. And then press fire to continue. Let's see what happens. It should just work. Boom, dead, game over. Yeah, press fire to continue. There you go. Pretty simple, right? That's about a minute done. Create more rooms. Yeah, I could. I want to create these missile enemies. To be honest, I probably need to kill off this first room now and sort of use it as a test room until I'm ready to construct a level. I like that room, but I think it's going to have to go. And so are the enemies. Well, missile enemy, or I could do them shooting at us, which is sort of enemy bullet code basically. Yeah, I think I'm going to do enemy bullets next, just to create a bit more challenge. These don't have to be firing enemies, these could be ones that just move, but for now I'll make them fire. So I'm going to need an enemy bullet. I want to probably just copy this one and maybe I'll put it on the enemies tab. Probably doesn't matter much, to be honest. Yeah, I'll put it there for now. Okay, so I want enemy bullets to be really obvious, and they're going to be sort of red, I think. Pink and red. So let's get some pink in the middle. I can use this fill tool. Does that look okay? I think so. It's quite big. Don't know if it's too big. Yeah, we could make them smaller actually. I mean, that's pretty huge for an enemy bullet. So let's just, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's shave off the corners. And yeah, that's okay. I could put a highlight on. No, it's looking silly. It's like that'll probably do. So enemy bullet, fine. And I'll probably do something like set the hitbox to just the 4 middle pixels, so it's slightly fairer on the player. So we're going to need to have a list for enemy bullets. We've got enemies. Now basically what do we want? Anytime the player hits them they die. So I could spawn them and treat them as enemies, but then the problem is the player bullets will destroy the enemy bullets, and I don't want that. So also enemy bullets, I've got to decide, do they hit walls? What happens when they hit destructible scenery? Do they destroy the scenery as well? Probably not. Do enemy bullets pass through things? No, probably not. Yeah, I'm just trying to decide if I should stick them in the same list as enemy, and then I can use the same code I wrote for, where was it? Player versus enemies. I can use the same code rather than copy pasting it. Or better still, I just pass a different list in, I guess. Yeah, I can probably do that. Yeah, let's make a separate list then. It's cleaner. Enemy bullets. That was a long decision process. Okay. So move enemies. So I need some kind of random thing going on. If I haven't used random yet in this language, so I'm just going to look up the parameters. Random, number between 0 and this number, inclusive. Oh no, not inclusive of x. If you want an integer, use floor random x. Yeah, fine. It doesn't really matter. I basically want to say let's not make it insane at the moment, say once about every second, so there's 60 frames. If random 60 is equals 0, then make a bullet basically. Whoops. Make enemy bullet, and we pass the enemy in because we're going to use the enemy coordinates. Make enemies. Okay, here. Yeah, I think I'll copy make enemy. Make enemy bullet. We will pass in sprite. Maybe later I need to pass in a bullet type. Oh no, I can use the ID to define that from this. So B for bullet, make sprite. What's all this stuff? Oh yeah, okay. We'll spawn it right on top of the enemy for now, which might look a bit weird. Actually, those coordinates might have to alter. Yeah. It might be better if they fire from underneath them or something. It might depend on the shape of the enemy. I don't need any of this range stuff or animation. Return B. That's basically it. Oh, make sprite. Oh yeah, I need to pass it to a different list. So I need a new list now, which is number 4. So in my sprite stuff, this isn't sprite stuff, this is sprite stuff. I need to, somewhere I've got something about get the list type or table type. Table, oops, table ID, make sprite, get table. So where the hell is get table? There, okay. So return table ID of enemy bullets. So that this should create a bullet every so often. It won't do anything at the moment, it will just float there. Okay, it doesn't like that. That's because of the equal sign. I'm getting used to the IDE now. Quite like it. So they're not firing anything. Okay, let's just see debug 1 equals 1, my good old test. Nothing happens. So random is between 0 and n. Oh, okay. It's because it's floating point, so it's probably never ever that. Let's use floor on it. So floor, and yeah, okay, that's working. Oh, except I can't see this enemy bullets yet because I need to draw them. So drawing, draw. Where should we put the enemy bullets? Above or below the enemies? That's the question. I guess above. I don't know though. I put the player bullet below the player. Yeah, let's do it below. So enemy bullet. Technically they need to move, so we have to do a bit of maths in a minute when we get them moving. Ooh, I need another clear. Good point. Clear enemy bullets. Let's go and put that in here. Enemy bullets there, there. Fine. What was I doing? Move. Something about the move code. Where's the logic? Here it is. When do I want to move the enemy bullets? Before the enemies? After the enemies? I moved the player bullet after the player, so I'd do the enemy bullets here. Enemy bullet. Move. Enemy bullet, I guess. What does move enemy do that's different? Move enemy. It moves the sprite and does this range stuff, and does the random stuff. I'll make a move enemy bullet, but I'm not sure it needs to do much special. It's probably got to do collision detection. Yeah, okay. Move enemy bullet. There it is. For now we can kill out all of this. Run. Okay, so it's creating bullets, but I'm not seeing them. Make enemy bullets. Make enemy bullet. B equals make sprite to list number 4. I'll just go and check there's nothing weird in make sprite. Add to get table. We fixed get table. Enemy bullets. We've declared enemy bullets. Yeah. We are. Maybe I'll get rid of the logic for now in case it's screwing something up. I'm not seeing it. Draw for each enemy bullet. Draw sprite. Debug 1 equals hash enemy bullet. This should show me the size of that list. No. Attempt to get length of global enemy bullet a nil value. Okay. I thought it might show me the length of the table. I mean, it exists, right? Let's just see if let's put the move function back in, and we'll see if it gets called, and that will tell us if there's something in there. Oops. So debug 1 equals 1. No. So this is being called. It's going to be something really obvious again. It always bloody is. It's not that it's off the screen, is it? The enemy's on the screen. Yeah, it's definitely creating it. Make sprite. I'm passing in 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters. Make sprite. Yeah, table ID. It should be adding it to the table. But somehow it's not calling it. It's not a spelling error, is it? Yeah, it is. Fuck. Classic. Okay. Let's just see if that works. Still not seeing anything. Let's just check the get thing. Get table, enemy bullet. Okay. From ID a nil value. Am I doing something weird, like I haven't specified the ID for the bullet enemy yet? Yeah, ID, shit. Excuse my swearing. So we need 80 for now. There you go, enemy bullets. That's what should have happened about 5 minutes ago, folks. But that's coding for you. Okay. So yeah, loads of bullets, great. Sorry, I've alt-tabbed and it's all gone wrong. Okay. Now we need to make them fly towards the player. So let's do some basic math. Move enemy bullets. Well, actually, that's just going to happen via move sprites, the movement, but we need to set the initial dx and dy. So make enemy bullets. So a very basic thing to do is just work out yeah, we could. I'm just thinking if we want to make them go at all different angles, because if I make them move at less than 1 pixel per frame, it won't look very smooth. But that's, you know, if I want them to fire accurately at you, that's going to be what has to happen. Yeah, I'm just having to think about how to do this. Normally I would work out, yeah, I've definitely got to work out the distance between the player and the enemy bullet. So local, so distance x equals player.x minus bullet.x. That's fine. Local distance y equals player.y minus bullet.y. So that gives us the distance. Now obviously you can work out the hypotenuse from that, but we've got to make it move at say constant speed. I can't just sort of say the bullets fly at different speeds at different angles. They've got to move at a constant speed of say 1 pixel per second, but that's going to be split between the x and y components. So yeah, if the hypotenuse is 1, what do those two add up to? Just got to think about how to do this. We know x squared plus y squared is and the square root is the hypotenuse value, and I want to normalize that and then multiply the other ones relative to it. So let's get the hypotenuse first. Equals, I wonder if you use, I'm going to look up the math commands now. Square root we've got, there isn't a square I don't think. Oh, I think there's a, I can just do something times something, but I think there's a, like a, I don't even know the name of the symbol, this thing, which is for doing exponentials, but I don't know what that symbol is called. So I think I can do hypotenuse equals, there's definitely a square root command in this language, there we go, of distance x, whatever that is, to is it plus? It is plus, right? Distance y thingy 2. I'm actually going to chuck that out in debug for now, just see, whoops, if we get sensible values. Didn't like that, did it? Attempt to perform arithmetic on global and nil value. Well, I'm looking at dist y. I'm not. Okay. Yeah, they look like pretty sensible values. The hypotenuse. So I have to pretend that the hypotenuse is 1, and then set the dx accordingly to the others. So the delta dx is delta x, the speed in the x direction each frame. So the delta x for this bullet is, just got to think about this. Sometimes I use my calculator to work such things out. I've got a key on my keyboard to bring up the Windows calculator, and then I can type stuff in really quickly. Yeah, okay, so it's going to be distance x over the hypotenuse. That should work, I think. Try it out anyway. They should all feel they move at a consistent speed then. Yeah, that looks correct. I'm going through everything, but of course this probably means the enemies are going to fire at you even when they can't see you, which is a bit lame, but I could make it so the enemies can only fire when they've got line of sight. That sounds like a polish item to me, so I'm going to put that here. Enemies can only fire when they have line of sight. That's actually going to be a little bit complicated to do that. Anyway, this works, yeah. So now I've got to make the enemy bullets phase out on contact with, God, maybe they're still too big. They look pretty big, don't they? I think they're too big. Let's shave them down a bit more. Hey. Let's get this. It's more like it. Yeah, that's better. I've got to make them explode when they hit a wall. So I'm going to find my old bullet code for the player. Bullets versus scenery. Yeah, I'm going to get the whole damn thing. Move enemy bullets. Okay. Enemy. Oh, I could do them all en masse. How is that how I'm doing it with the other one? No. What's this function called? Bullets versus scenery. Is that accurate? No, it's doing a single bullet, so it's not accurately named. Enemy bullet versus, well, I've got to do scenery and versus the player. Enemy bullet versus scenery. Fine. I'm going to rename this function because I don't like it being called that. If I run it, oh, okay, thought it would. Bullets versus, there it is. Bullet versus enemies, bullet versus sceneries. It's sort of a bit redundant, all this. Let's just put this into there. Kill out, check bullets. Okay. Bullet versus enemies, bullet versus scenery. Okay, fine. We want basically the same kind of thing here. Enemy, bullet versus scenery. Here we go. So I've got some weird offsets here which are due to getting to the tip of the bullet, the player bullet. Now we need a sort of central portion of this which we don't really have, so I'm going to have to just say probably that point there. It's not great, but unless I make it odd sized, now I'll just do that. So 3 by 3, offset x is 3, offset y is 3. Doesn't need to flip, that's cool. So we need to test the sprite plus the offset, the sprite coordinate plus the offset. If is the pixel solid, yes. Get the block, blah blah blah. Hey, I wrote some, this is where I should be using my new fancy function called mgetRoom. Let's do it. mgetRoom, pass in just test x, don't need to do the divided by, test y, don't need to do the divided by. This should work. mgetRoom, let's have a look. Yeah, fine. Okay, so I've improved that code. It's a bit lame copy pasting this because I could sort of use the same code as the player bullet and pass in a different list, but I would always have to adjust the offsets anyway and maybe do some other code when they explode, different explosions. So I'm going to copy paste for now. If fget, yeah, fine. There's another mset. What does that do? Destroys. Oh, this destroys destructible scenery. I don't want to do that. I only want to have. Right, I'm going to make a note. Enemy bullets cannot destroy destructible scenery. Fine. It hit a solid wall. So, what's this offset business? This must be to show the explosion. Yeah, make explosion. My explosion code's a bit crappy also because I'm passing in the top left coordinate of where I want the explosion to show, and God, you know, it's so much easier to use center coordinates normally. Let's just do that for now. I'll fix that in a minute. It's going to have to be a new explosion 3. And this will delete it, the bullet when it hits it. Right, new explosion. So, for enemy bullets hitting the wall, I'm going to make a sprite number 7. Yeah, and this animation means stay on the same frame for 4 frames and then delete it, which works great. So I'm going to just copy that. Whoops, copied. And colour it the dull colour, which is that one. Yeah, so similar to the player bullet exploding. Let's just see if that works. Doesn't like it. Get table right. Okay, so I've just missed, that's because I've got an end in there. There's no if statements. That can't be right. I've deleted too much code. Let's go back to the player one. If f get block 1, else that it hits a solid wall. Yeah, I just need to check if block isn't 0 basically. That's weird. How does this code even work? Oh, if pixel solid, fine. Yeah, I don't need to even get the block. I just need to test if the pixel is solid at the coordinates. It works. Not sure the explosions are quite in the right place, though many people might not notice. So I really want to shift the explosion to... Oh, my phone is ringing. I have to get it. Hang on, I'll be back.